correspondents, teachers, and dear friends. Finally, the auspicious day has arrived, putting an end to our impatient anticipation and tireless preparation for this event.
The first year was exciting, full of challenges and revival. Some days were an endless stream of emergencies that came unannounced. As we enter the second year with more challenges and responsibilities to be accomplished, we welcome new tries, new questions, new problems, new solutions, and new heights.
We are at a stage where IEEE is excited for the launch of a new initiative. It is overwhelming that we have come a long way since the chapter began.
So, hey guys, we have a little something planned for you. So, without wasting any more time, here we go.
IEEE Women Engineering is one of the largest international organizations dedicated to promoting women engineers, scientists, inspiring girls around the world who follow a career in engineering.
IEEE WIE is one of the world's leaders in changing the face of engineering. Our global network connects nearly 20,000 members in over 100 countries to advance women in technology at all points in their life career. And IEEE WIE members make lifelong friendships, acquire influential mentors, and make a difference for the benefit of humanity.
Now we will be taking this over for the obvious reason. So see you later, Adi. We have several esteemed, well-known guests for you today. Danish, let's begin.
Good evening, everyone. Today, the first guest here is Dr. Ashima Yadav, our faculty member for IEEE WIE. She's a researcher working in area of sentimental analysis, emotional detection, and many, many others. She is currently our professor, assistant professor at in CSE department. She was awarded the Commendable Research Award by Delhi Technical University in year 2020 and 2021. Enough of me talking about her. I would like to welcome ma'am now.
Thank you, Danish, for such a sweet introduction. So, very good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to the IEEE Women in Engineering Society at Bennett University. So, firstly, I would like to thank this young bunch of students, Danish, Shreya, Adi, everyone out there, so who are actually taking such an effort towards a crucial social cause to inspire, encourage, and empower the young girls and women of our society. So that's why when these students came to me with the faculty mentor role, I instantly said yes to be the part of such a prestigious society. And each one of them, you see here, they are very motivated and full of energy, and which is really good to see nowadays. So coming back to the our ideology of building this society, so we established this society so that we could encourage and empower the women who are already in the science and engineering field, and inspire and motivate the young girls who wish to take this engineering field as their career. So, although if you see any sector of a society all over the world, this gender ratio is very well visible, right? So, let's say if you look at the gender wise list of the women representations in the 17th Lok Sabha, so you will see that it's just 40, around 14%, 14 to 15%, which means that there are around 85% section of male people that are dominating the Lok Sabha. And we always had this invariably more men in the governing body than women. So similarly, so if you see that only 8% of the CEOs at the Fortune 500 companies are female. And this is, by the way, the highest percentage till date. And you will be surprised to hear that 53% of the top Indian companies have a male to female employee ratio of 10:1 or maybe worse. So the question is, why is there such a huge difference in numbers? What is that thing which is holding the women back? So one experimental study I would like to discuss. So one experimental study was conducted in the US where students from the Southeastern University were asked to evaluate whether they feel they had the intellectual abilities possessed by the scientists or engineers. So the results of the study show that the women gave less positive estimates of their own intellectual abilities than men. So they have this view that men mostly have this strong intellectual abilities related to these fields of engineering and science, and not only that, they feel that subjects like mathematics and science, they also somewhat they feel the intellectual abilities are lower as compared to men. But however, if you look at their performance, that suggests something different. So the problem here is the lack of belief in yourself or underestimating your own abilities, and this is what that is shaping their occupational interest, which is sad. So also there exists this negative stereotype of women being less technically competent than men. So I don't know how many of you have listened to the TED talk of Shreyas Sandberg, who is the COO, Chief Operating Officer of Facebook. So she gave a very nice talk, and she in 2012 she was elected to the Facebook board of directors, becoming the first woman to serve on their board, and she's a billionaire and possibly one of the best examples for many women out there. So in her talk, she very well explained why there are too few women at the top, and what we can do about it. So she said how the women often face this harder choice between the professional success and the personal fulfillment. So they often get stuck in maintaining the work life balance. And when you talk about engineering, fields like engineering, they feel that it would be incompatible with, let's say, their personal life after marriage or their motherhood that way. How they think that somewhat they won't be able to manage or have a proper work life balance. So they see in this engineering field maybe the men have to travel a lot and they saw them working long hours, so this obviously impacts their occupational interest. So the question definitely pops up in their mind that how are we going to manage all these things, right? And finally, one more very interesting aspect which I would like to highlight, that whenever you ask a man that how did you get this job, they would say that I got this job because probably I was awesome in it, I am too good. So they have this confidence, or even if they don't have, they definitely try to show that confidence. But if you ask the same question to a woman, she will probably say that I worked really hard, or maybe I just got lucky, or maybe this and this person helped me because of their efforts, and so many things. So again, the thing I would like to highlight here is that they don't own their success, which is bad. We should definitely own our own success. So if you have worked hard, you should definitely own it, right? So the although this gender inequality is there in every field, if we look at the positive side of it, that what people are doing about it, so we can definitely see many government and private organizations are doing a lot to reduce this gender ratio gap. So companies have switched to flexible working hours. Those who are working in the corporate industry, they are very well aware of this thing, that we do have the flexible working hours. There are women groups specially made in many organizations to handle or to deal with all the issues that women might face in their company. And many women out there are doing very well, are in great positions, thus demonstrating us that how work and parental responsibilities or your personal life could be combined and very well managed too. So there are also various scholarship programs which could help the young women to pursue their career in engineering. Like you have the Rolls-Royce Unnati Scholarship for women engineering students. This is for those women who are in their first, second, or third year of the undergraduate program. Then you have one more scholarship for your post-graduation studies. You have Indira Gandhi Scholarship, but it's for a single girl child. That is for the duration of 2 years. And there's one more interesting program, which is the CBSE Udan program, which offers the girl students of class 11th and 12th free of cost resources like study materials or tutorials, maybe videos, mentoring opportunity to prepare them for the engineering entrance test. Like we have the various institutions which helps us in preparing for the engineering test, but they charge us quite a heavy amount. So we have the CBSA has come up with an program so that it could help the girl student to get into the engineering test, because if the students are not, if you see the ratio of the male and female who are into this entrance test, who give the entrance test, there itself the ratio is too wide. So in that particular domain, if the ratio is too high, so obviously when you go in engineering colleges, you might have also seen in your classes this gender ratio that is already very well visible everywhere. So they have come up with this program so that they can help the girl students in the 11th and 12th class so that they can get into this engineering field and can get admission in the premier engineering colleges of the country. So yes, people out there are giving us the opportunities to explore, to fly, and to make our mark out there in the world. So however, all this will be possible only if we vouch for ourselves. And for this, we should believe in our own capabilities. We should not underestimate ourselves, and we should negotiate for ourselves, and most importantly should own our own success, because if we don't value ourselves, the people out there will definitely not care for us. So having said that, I think I would like to conclude my talk, and I hope I am able to justify the essence of this society so that every woman out there continue to aspire and inspire others too. So thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this actually inspiring talk. I, I would like to go to a few questions for you. I have a lot of questions, but I'm gonna go for a few of them. A question that is always in my mind, in especially we are in engineering field, we go through that thing called imposter syndrome, and it's very difficult when everyone is mansplaining you, and everyone is saying कि समझ जाओगे. Imposter syndrome is a very big thing. How do you tackle it?
Okay. So again, as I said, see, to be very honest, I have not come across. Now, when you ask about the problems which we women face in the engineering world, I will say that I was, I think, maybe fortunate enough to not maybe face any problem, or maybe say I was that much, let's say, confident enough to give them back if I got anything that way. So I always believed that, if you aim for something, or let's say if like you want to do something, so you should have a very clear vision about it first. Second, you should definitely work hard for this. And third, the confidence and the support of, let's say, your parents, maybe any your near and dear ones, that matters a lot. So nothing of you can stop, let's say, in this world, if you have these many things. And definitely, that much confidence should be there with every woman out there, so that they can set an example in the society. So that is like very important, because I have seen, whenever we go to any organization, let's say, especially in the engineering or the IT industry, so we are usually, I've seen women, I've seen girls, they are very quiet that way, thinking, how are we going to do this, should I ask this from him, from the manager, or so on. So this confidence now is very important. But on the other hand, I have seen many women who are very much confident, and who are able to make a mark that way. So I think this is very important for every woman out there to, take a stand for yourself, stand for yourself, and work hard. Then I don't think you will face any problem anywhere in the world, not only in the engineering domain or let's say in your professional life. When it comes to your personal life also, you should definitely have a voice for yourself. This is the only one thing which I would definitely like to, tell every woman out there.
That's actually inspiring, and confidence is where sometimes I lag, and I will try my best to build that up. I have one more question.
I think you have this, Danish. You don't have to build it. You have.
Thank you. I have a question more there, just for you. Can you please share some part of your journey or some story where that was like, huh, I did something very great.
Okay, I did something very great.
Or I'm very proud of it that as a woman or as a student or as now you're a teacher, I did it. Just a small anecdote here and there.
So, okay. So, one thing coming to my journey, okay. So, when I was in my school, so that way in 11th and 12th, so like, then the next question is, what about the graduation, in which, what do you want to pursue next, and what to do next? So, this question always everyone faces, right? So, and I have certain relatives in my, you can say, I have certain relatives who were already there in this computer science in the IT field that way. So I already had the idea of the IT industry, and somewhat I was also inclined to this field of IT industry. However, but again, I have seen, many so actually, I have seen in my family itself, my relatives or let's say my cousins, they do not want to pursue this computer science or don't want to get into this computer science. But still, since it is a very popular field out there, computer science, engineering, so you should definitely go. Especially this becomes difficult for boys to saying no to engineering. Like, how is it possible? Girls, if they say no, that to chalo, okay, then there are many options, let's say, for you if you want to say no to engineering. But for boys, this is very difficult. However, I was somewhat clear, very clear about what I want to do next, and I was equally inclined in this computer and every field. So I did my graduation, my post graduation, then I worked in the IT sector also. So after working, after having a job, then everything is okay. You have a job now, it's okay. You will be working and all those things. Now the switch comes when I want to switch my career from the IT industries to the academic part, to do the research, right? Because if you have a job now we are like, okay, it's sufficient now, we have achieved what we want, we do have a job, then you progress in that job and go ahead with the life. That's the ultimate aim of almost everyone. But I was somehow, while working there, I realized that I was somewhat inquisitive towards the research area. So particularly if you have some areas like artificial intelligence, or I mean machine learning, they all sounds really nice. But I thought that I could also contribute to this field, and I don't know, I was somewhere connected to this field. So the transition is to quit that job and pursue research. Pursue research means do any PhD kind of thing, which is again into academics and studying part, right? So you are quitting your full-time job that way. You are full undergrad, graduation, post-graduation completed, you have a job, but you are quitting it and entirely changing your field that way. But I did that. I was, again, I said, so I had this vision very clear. To be very honest, I had this clear vision, and I worked really hard to it. Because then again, if you do not work well, so you have the constant eye of your parent that way, that see, I told you na, working there was easy, was better, why did you do that thing? So this everyone faces. So that was also one kind of pressure, because doing PhD takes 3 to 4 years of your life, which are very crucial, right? First, you need that much of stamina to at least think about it. But fortunately, also again, my parents were quite supportive for that. So I was never like, I have to push them, or that I want to do this, so please can I quit my job. That, so they were very supportive, and I think because of that only I was able to complete my PhD. I was able to submit the thesis in 3.5 years, and after that again, so everything, and during that 3.5 years, so I actually realized that this was what I wanted to do, and I was very happy with that. Doing something which you actually like to do, like if you like doing your job, or if you like going to your office, then that is, trust me, the best feeling in the world. Because the money, everything, they, all this will encourage you, or let's say will motivate you to a certain level. Let's say for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years maybe. After 3 years you will be like, what am I doing? I am not happy
This
with this
all
stuff.
reminds me of Three Idiots and how he talked to his dad. And
Completely, I would, because I've been through all this now. So going and doing something which you like doing now is a complete different feeling. Again, I'm telling you, because after, when you get job, so you, let's say you have a package of 20 lakhs or 25 lakhs, so it will, 1 year, maybe 2 year, maybe 3 years, you are like, I am earning so much. But after 3 years now, this money which is credited on your account will no longer make you happy. Unfortunately, this is the unfortunate truth. The only thing that will make you happy is how, what work you are doing, how passionate you are about that work. And yes, so I really enjoyed those 3.5 years, and I'm very much thankful to first myself that I choose this transition. So yes, this was the journey of mine.
thank you so much, ma'am. It was really inspiring. Changing fields, that is actually very inspiring. Thank you so much, ma'am. Next, we
You're
have
welcome.
Asta, our next host for tonight. She will introduce our next guest. Go ahead, Asta.
Next, we have with us Dr. Nancy Juneja, chairperson at MentorX Women, providing coaching to women leaders with a vision in empowering top women executives and entrepreneurs. An educationist, international youth mentor, corporate trainer, social activist, and whatnot. Awarded Women Entrepreneur of the Year and Abhinav Sen Gupta Memorial Special Jury Award, International Education Awards 2019. With such numerous achievements and awards, she must have a huge trophy wall at home. So let's welcome.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here, and many congratulations for the grand launch of This Sounds Terrific, IEE Bennett University. So I remember the times when I was aspiring for the admission at this university today. So really, kudos to all of you. Kudos to you. Over to you.
I would like to ask you about, so tell us something about Karamveer Chakra and how it all happened, how it all.
Wonderful. So I'll take you a little brief, if possible, of my journey also, so that you can relate to it, because, we all talk about success, we all talk about reaching the pinnacle, but we don't know where we were and what it is to be done to bridge the gap between getting that Karma Veer Chakra and how we started upon. So while I see the budding entrepreneurs here, and, a majority being women, I feel, and I will definitely say that my journey, started upon again, with the motive of becoming the best version of my own self. At the age where you are, we just want to make our parents proud. We want to be good in our circle, in our, students community, and so on. This is what we aspire to do, right? And when we are, aspiring to be an entrepreneur, probably after our masters at the age of 25, 26, what happens is there's a lot, it's a pendulum of aspirations going on. So I feel, I always remembered that, there are two kind of people in the room, those who walk in the room and say, hey, I'm there. And those who walk in the room and the rest say, wow, she's here. So I wanted to be among the later part. I wanted to make my presence felt. That was the whole criteria where we started. So coming from a family who is running education institutions since almost 3 decades in Delhi, capital of India, I wanted to make my mark in Indian education and wanted to transform it. So that's how it started. And I just was figuring like what it takes from school to campus, campus to corporate, what it takes for an individual to ace in it, to make your presence felt. As I see in the last 10 minutes how curious you were talking to the entrepreneurs and digging the questions out, squeezing the lemon out of it, that how we can be glorious entrepreneurs. So that was the time I remember that we wanted to make a mark in Indian education. So we did a lot of R&D, we did a lot of research, and we launched a RevUp Life Skills unit, that time, which is concerned just for life skills. So the time I'm talking to, we never had mentors inviting in our colleges like this. You are lucky people. You yourself are so accessible just to mail away to the mentors all across world and getting them on the common platform. We never had all this. We never had this, campus placement experience and all that. It was seldom, some of the cream of the institution getting the, probably, summer internships and getting the global opportunities and so on. So when it started from discovering life skills for youth, it was above the subjects, it was above just the aim of being just an engineer, just a doctor, a teacher, a pilot. It was like life skills, just opening up the platform, like what you want to be. So when we discovered that, and with MentorX Women, it was like a lot of collaboration. You must be figuring out, how it is these days. 2020 has shown us the word entirely that nothing is going to be safe, nothing is going to be stagnant. So we have seen how the word came out for collaboration, contribution, the power of teamwork, the power of compassion, curiosity. It all came, and MentorX was the result of this. My second company, being the co-founder of MentorX, is 3 years old, and trust me, traveling in 65 countries now, globally 10x growth. It was in this 2 years, in this pandemic time. So definitely when your work is worship, and when when you take your profession not as a profession but as a passion, all the management of these karma veer chakra and all the management of these high prestigious laurels get the eye. So I feel more than the PR, your work speaks for you always. So we were always into youth empowerment, women empowerment, and while doing it, somehow, yes, there was a red letter moment when I got noticed for the karma veer chakra, and it was a golden moment when I got the mail. And I still remember when you asked how was the experience. It was, I never faced that experience even in doing my masters, when I had to prepare for my CAT, for my interview GDs. Karma Veer Chakra was extensive. It was like complete life introduction, and they grilled us over around 60 to 70 questions about our life, about our aim, about what we plan 5 years from now. Not just 5 years, they made us visualize what I will be when I'll be 50, 60, what legacy I want to leave behind. So it was completely, a different framework. And yes, being awarded by it, it was a pride. It was pride still. And that is what, keep us a pat on our back, that we need to move ahead with the same zeal, same curiosity, same enthusiasm. That is what keeps us going on. Thank
Ma'am,
you.
that is actually so great. I personally watched the journey of MentorX, and that's the, to educate women empowerment and elevate it. Ma'am, I guess there is an echo from your side.
If it is there, I'll just check. Can you hear me?
Yes,
It's
ma'am, we can
absolutely
hear.
perfect. I can hear you. It is absolutely perfect.
Okay, ma'am, then let's continue. So, ma'am, tell us something about your MentorX, and what are your future plans about it? How do you want to empower women with more power and more force?
Yeah, surely. So, frankly, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, while we talk about MentorX, as you're very well researched, you're amazing people. So the tagline says, educate, empower, elevate. Very rightly said, Adi, and good to see all of you in the panel, Bhavya and the names I can read, Astha, Kinshuk, and everyone out here. I love the energy in the room. And I must say that, while we talk about MentorX, the 3 E's come: educate, empower, elevate. At present, MentorX is all about an international arena. It is a chamber who is not just felicitating the startups, empowering the women entrepreneurs, the leaders of tomorrow, but organizing it all, materializing their dreams by 360-degree mentoring. So we are the largest incubator who is making possible to connect students like you and the best of the mentors, of the particular field. And not just this, after the mentoring, what I feel is what is required in this era, it is opportunities. Opportunities come very far and few in between. So the major aim is to realize where is the opportunity and grab it. So we at MentorX make them realize, be it students, be it startup, be it entrepreneurs, that how to grab this opportunity. So by the future plans or the present, as you may ask. So it's all about, we are setting induction cells, not just this incubator cells. We have already set up incubator cell in Mauritius, Ministry of Commerce, Delhi, and many of the countries, the e-cell, the foreign tie-ups, the skill development areas. So all this just goes on. So while we talk about the startup boot camp, or while we go to review their plans for, as an investors, it is really terrific to see how, startups Yeah, so it is wonderful to see people of your age, when we visited all these IITs and IIMs. It gives me goosebumps when we were there for the investors pitch. It was like so amazing idea. It was like brainstorming at that age. So definitely MentorX is pushing them up so that they convert their dreams into actions with the right mentors. We always say you have to dream, dare, and do if you want to do good. But if you do it, dream, dare, and do alongside with mentor, you get extraordinary result. So that is what is the framework of MentorX. And surely we have touched almost 65 countries. In future, there are around 197 countries, and we plan to go further. And this is only and only by the power of, again, collaboration and teamwork, which I guess there's no looking back. It can turn any ordinary people to achieve extraordinary result. That was the story of MentorX also. Thank you.
So thank you, ma'am,
I
from
love
joining
to
us
hear
from.
more from all the
So
enabling
thank you,
students
ma'am,
here.
from joining us from MentorX, and we are very glad to have you here and to
And
guide
we
us
are
with
very glad to
thoughtful
have you
words.
here and to guide us with thoughtful words.
Pleasure is all mine.
Thank you, ma'am.
All the best and kudos to you. You're doing wonderful work. The way you are, I remember all my clubs and the societies in my colleges and my masters when I see you guys doing great work. And this will go a long way because this is what is the experience which make you, really, really rich in entrepreneurship journey.
Yes.
Ma'am, by the way, we will be in touch with the Mentor X
And
as
by the way, we will be
the
in touch with
WI
the
will
Mentor
be
X and
go very few in future, so we
the
will
WI
inform
will be so very few in future, so we will inform you.
Wow, I would request the WI team to send your names at my mail because we love to appoint you as the global youth ambassadors of MentorX. This is an army of the youth ambassador who are running, after one cause or the other, and it is a brilliant experience, trust me. So we love to, confer you with that title.
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely. Thank you.
Definitely, definitely.
Sure,
Thank you.
sure. And I love, while I leave, do watch the TEDx, by Nancy Juneja. You will love it because this is the time when you will know how to make decisions in your life. So do that. I love to hear from you there.
Definitely,
So
ma'am.
thank you,
We'll
ma'am.
share the link here.
So we'll share the link here.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, Ita.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks.
So, coming on with the third
So
speaker of
coming
the
on
day,
with the third
we
speaker of
have
the
one
day,
of our own
we
seniors
have
and
one
our
of our
student
own
mentor for
seniors and our
WIE.
student mentor for
We
WIE.
heartily welcome Navyadi, topper of the batch, receiver of the Vice Chancellor's Gold Medal. She has a great experience in research related projects. She's also All India rank holder and whatnot. So, not only with academics, she's also an achiever in the music field too. So, let us hear from her. Hello, Navyadi. Actually, you're muted.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the grand intro. And it feels very honorable to be part of this great synergy that's here. And well done on actually, establishing WIA, taking it forward and creating such a wonderful presentation for starters. This is the vision what I was looking for when I founded IEEE. Like, great job, all of you. And amazing speakers again. Dr. Nancy, Dr. Ashma, like wonderful start. Like every one of it, like it was amazing. So I'll keep it short. You can ask me questions. I'll answer all of them.
So we have a few questions for you.
Yeah.
So you were one of the founders of IEEE at Bennett University, and you have quite been associated with it for a long time. So what was your experience, and how would you like us to guide on, like for future?
So experience. Okay, so IEEE was founded, for channelizing the technical synergy that we have amongst us, right? So each one of us can learn from each other, and also we'll have support from people outside, right? Since you know that this is the biggest organization that there is for technical capacities, and because of what we leveraged, we also created, we also guided national hackathons. We did many events, right? We did we had esteemed people amongst us, so the experience was great, the learning was amazing, and I hope that it is going on. I understand that everything is online, so it must be really hard to carry that forward, but good job. And about guiding, I'm ready for whatever help you guys need from me. Please feel free to reach out and ask questions about the direction you want to head into. Obviously, it is pretty visible to me as what you guys are trying to do, and it's amazing. But still, if you want any help, you can ask me. I don't have anything prepared, but uh, since I'm going on impromptu, like what you guys said about establishing WIE and achieving the goals, visions, and methods, as IEEE View has been doing, it has been doing great. But I will also suggest, you guys to come forward and again, lead something like a national event from WI that will make you recognized within the nation, and then it'll give you lots more. How should I put it? Um, it'll give you a big stage for the extempore.
Sure, then we definitely keep it in mind. And like we did some research on you as well, and we were intrigued by your research works on AI. So when did you get into this field, and how did you start, basically?
So I started from my first year itself, and funnily enough, it was from a conference from IEEE only. So IEEE is very reputed for good journals and good papers. So there was this event going on, and there was this keynote speaker, Dr. Tyagarajan. So he's a very famous author about AI, and he had this amazing paper. He was invited since it was a very key event in IEEE. So he went on and about like what we can do with this, technology. So it felt like magic to me. So honestly, like when if you compare 20 years back technology to right now, it feels so different. So for me, it felt really amazing, and for me, it felt like I could, create something that could change a lot. So that intrigued me, and because of that, I got into my field, and I'm doing what I'm doing.
So thank you for like joining us today and guiding us and like to being a part of WI launch. We are very happy to have you here.
Thank you for letting me a part of this.
Hi Navyadi.
Yeah. Yeah, please go ahead.
I would like to. I want to say this in front of everyone. Like when I saw your LinkedIn and heard about you, it was so inspiring and it actually motivated me to stay here in IEEE and make it more enough. And I want to say this that I want to disturb you a lot to make IEEE what you started and make it more big.
That's that's such an honor for me. Thank you. And yes, please do disturb me. I'm open for all kinds of disturbances. and yeah, thank you for thinking of me like that. And I'll try keeping up with it. Again, I think I feel I fall short of what you're saying against all of the people that have already spoken. I feel like I've done very little. There's lots more to come. Let's just hope that I can keep up on pace with that.
We will definitely try that. Go ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, so I request every guest she can open the camera. Nancy ma'am, if you are here, so you can open the camera. We can have a talk show right now. Yes, thank you, Ashima ma'am.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So yes, Shreya, you can take over from.
Shreya, you can take over from.
Okay. So I would just like to ask you a few questions.
I would just like to ask you a few questions.
What is the most exciting thing about your job? You can go ahead one by one.
Probably, I think the passion, I think, which was common, which I heard I heard the talk of Dr. Nancy and Navya also. So I think probably the passion which is there common between all three of us to do our job, like Dr. Nancy has rightly said, that when your work becomes your worship, then nothing is unstoppable. So I think this one thing which I could figure out from the talk of all three of us was the passion, and I think rest they can continue, of course.
Ma'am, you are on mute. Nancy ma'am, you are on mute. Nancy ma'am, you are on mute.
Very well put by you. So I feel this P is common in all the entrepreneurship journey. Unless and until you have the fire in the belly, unless and until you have this passion, whether you are into any profession, this three P's, I feel: profession, passion, only then it turns to profit. That is what it makes to be a glorious entrepreneur, because it sounds very good to be having an entrepreneurship journey, but trust me, it's not a hunky dory. It's a roller coaster ride, and you need to be after yourself. You need to be self critic day and night. So I feel the most important part which drives us is innovation, that comes across, because I feel it is innovate or evaporate. Not in today's world, it is like going age old. If you have to be an entrepreneur, it is innovate or evaporate. So that makes us really versatile. And thanks to all of you that we are revising our lessons of entrepreneurship.
I completely agree with both of them.
I completely agree with both of them. I could put the
There's an echo. Okay, so both of them
there's an echo.
summarized
So
what the point was, like passion, yes, and the want to do something. I'll just add that just a little bit. Like both of them had a vision, right, that they wanted to create and make that come true. That is also a very important factor. When we are about to give up and we are like everything is useless, then you just remind that this is why I started. This is why I need to keep going. That thing, I think, is just one thing that I need to add with all of what they mentioned.
Uh, what all changes do women face during the beginning of their careers? Some basic challenges.
We all are starting our careers.
we all are starting a career.
Yeah, it's a big deal for us. So we need some tips and tricks from you guys where you have accomplished what we wish to accomplish.
Firstly, Danish, I think you people are in a very good position now. Except, like, if I recall my age at this particular point, I was not being exposed to all the opportunities which you are, experiencing it. That in itself will benefit you a lot. I mean, which I can actually, feel this, that if I would have been given this opportunity, I don't know what different I could have done. So the pain you people are taking and the hard work you people are putting in this society, be it in IEEE, is commendable, and this will definitely pay you off in the later run. That I can say. And the constant opportunities which you are getting, you are able to take benefit of all of them, which is again a very nice thing for you. So coming to the the challenges, what you said, I don't think now you people will face any sort. If you even face, you are ready to take any challenge that way. That I could actually feel that you people are somewhat ready to take up the challenges and come up with something of your own. So rest, I think the rest of the speakers can continue, of course.
Yeah, sure. So, definitely continuing from the, whatever ma'am has covered, I would love to tell that, being when we talk about specifically the woman entrepreneur, uh, whatever we say, I feel personally there are always, the three M's, marriage, maternity, and mobility, which affects a lot. So they are the major challenges. However, I say, that I can do everything and I'm a superwoman. I wish to do being an entrepreneur, being this, but that balance, there's a very thin line between that. So we need to manage that. That's my personal experience, because when I started my first company, RevUp, and then the second MentorX, going with my schools, which are managed now, which we don't need, my presence there. It was always diversification, collaboration. We have in us, we want to expand. But yes, challenges are a part and parcel of every life. So, yes, every new you have to have a new version of your own self, your own identity. That is what I believe. Like, even me talking about me, the time has been so versatile that 1 year, I can't think 5 years from now. I am thinking 6 months from now. Trust me. And because of the challenges which just keeps on being there, so I need to revamp myself every now and then. I need to reboot myself. I need to rethink. I need to reimagine the strategies of my business. So that is a part and parcel. Challenges and revamping, it just goes on. So that is like a 360-degree approach for the entrepreneurship. Thank you.
And I'll add that that we face is that, like, or some of the challenges, sorry, that we face is that sometimes, not all the time, sometimes we're taken lightly. I mean, when you sit into a meeting, you have 49 men, one female, right? And then the opinions, like the matter comes down to the number, and that should not happen, right? So you should take the lead at times like that. You should be very firm, very strong, and more articulate about your point. Sometimes we need to compensate, by being more detailed about a work or being more firm in a work, but then that pays off. Once you create your stand, okay, this is it, and this is what we're doing, and this is my backing why we are doing, then you get recognized. Okay, now this is a part of a team. Otherwise you're just somebody on the sitting table who needs to hear the things as the meetings are going on. That is one thing I'd like to add.
Just one last question. Actually, many students had similar issues of not being able to find internships and jobs online. So can you suggest where and how should we approach companies for respective internships and placements? This is an issue especially with the second year and third year students who are trying to find any kind of internships online related to AI, ML or anything.
So should I start? Should I start?
You can very well summarize all these things. Probably you are the
Yeah, since I just went through that,
yes.
right? So for second year and third year, I'll have different advices. For second year, since you're just starting and you are discovering your forte, going through all kinds of technological, whatever interests you have. So skim through that, find what you like, and then skim through companies and the projects that they're doing and what they like. Usually, whenever you go to a company and the description, they'll have an about section, right? In that, you'll get the basic vision and the upcoming or new projects or new releases. You'll see what they're up to. If that matches with you, mail them, like find the contacts, mail them personally. If you need to mail them as a group mail, do that. If you approach them as a team also, like from IEEE, if you go, like, we have these certain XY set of people and I'd like to connect, that will give you a channel. That will give you a really good channel. Startups are a good way to go. For second year especially, you learn a lot, a whole lot if you do that. And then if you want to build very specific knowledge, I'll say don't focus on the stipend, focus on the task that you're getting, right? The more you learn, the better. And target companies like that. Obviously, you'll have some chances for internships from the placement cell and stuff. Target two kinds of companies: one that you're interested in the work in, two big companies that you would want to work for second year. For third year, since these internships could also get you, a PPO if you are interested. So focus on companies like that. Like now it depends. You have to decide whether you're focusing on a PPO, whether you want to just learn. And if it is for learning, then again, second year's method can be done. But then again, you should have, if you have some experience, people will be ready to pay you well. In fact, you'll have many opportunities which you'll need to decide. About companies, make a list. If you want, I can send you one. I have a company, I have a list of 40 companies related to AI. Similar for blockchain, similar for cybersecurity. You can create a list and then keep mailing them. Like once, twice. The HR usually does not respond by one mail. That is from my own personal experience. Mail them 2 times, 3 times, gentle reminder, follow-up mail. Would like to hear your opinion. And then they will give up and they reply. And then the process starts. After that, it's up to you and your metal how you prove it. So that's, I think that's the utility from me. If I remember something else, I'll text you. You can put it in the group. Now, the I, of course, ma'am are more experienced, so they can tell us more about it.
I'll just I'll abide by ma'am, that keep pinging on the HR and, mail through. I was smiling as that's what happened in our company also. So the internships are open specifically in AI and technology. Even now, you can definitely be there. But, what happens is sometimes children are more focused these days on stipend than their own acumen in the skill set. So what is important is, honing your skills, getting the right experience at the right age. Once you get the brands with you, once you get the summer internship, all these experience, once you get the letter of recommendation of these companies, trust me, it matters a lot. It makes your student portfolio really strong. So you should aim for that. And as ma'am has rightly suggested, you should have a couple of, industries in your hand and keep on mailing them. Nothing like it. You learn a lot, whether you get a yes or no. You learn a lot working with, somebody who is more experienced than you.
Please call me Navya. I'm very, very.
Please call me Navya. I'm very, very.
I look up to you a lot. I'm on mentioning myself in your talk. So yeah, please just call me Navya.
Please just call me Navya.
Oh, lovely.
I think both of them have beautifully answered this question. Just a small tip which I would like to add. Generally I see students come up to me and they say, our university's placement cell is not so good, or we are not getting this much opportunities. So, if you look at what both Navya and Nancy ma'am has said, so, you yourself have to take this pain for to get the job or maybe the internship. You can't blame others for that, like be it your university that way, because everything is similar for each and every student out there, but still you can see the difference after let's say the fourth year. So you yourself have to take this pain. Navya has beautifully explained, how you can approach the companies that way. Nancy ma'am has also told, how you can ping them and how you can approach them. So I think it is very necessary for you to, take this initiative for yourself and do not rely on, or do not, at the end say, the placement cell of the XYZ university is not too good. Because usually, students compare the placement cell of different university. That's a very common thing which I usually hear. So I think, yeah, that was the thing which I just wanted to share. So rest, though, I think they have beautifully done the job.
Yeah, since like what ma'am said, it reminded me of one more thing. One more way you can approach is from hackathons and national competitions. I got my internships, all of my internships and my job as well from that only. So there are many competitions, like you can go for Hacker Earth or Coder Canaldos for CSE people. For other branches, I'll look into it and I'll let you know. And then when you compete, you get some ranks, right? So when you keep practicing, as and when you do, your rank keeps increasing, and there comes a time when you're in the top 3, right? So that garners you a lot of attention. I remember in my second year, there was a hackathon in Bangalore. So it was a job fair kind of thing, wherein when if you win, you get selected. So there'll be a lot of that even now. You can just keep on looking since it's online. That those things have increased, in fact. So I when I went there and when I won the championship, there were many companies. I think 8 to 10, American Express, Goldman Sachs, and stuff. So I couldn't get the job because I was second year. But then I was noticed by the VP, technical leads and all that. So which is a big thing. I still have their cards with me. If I want, I can just message them and I'll have that opportunity. Even if you can't win, that's fine. Just participate. You never know, right? You never know. Hackathons, national championships, national coding competitions. Then on Hacker Earth and Hacker Rank, you'll get a lot of chances. You know what? I'll make a text. I'll summarize that for you and I'll send it to you. You can use that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Navya. Now we would like to wrap the session up. So thank you all for joining today. It was a great session and we learned a lot. So thank you all.
Thank you to each one of you. Even we had a very nice time talking to you all, and especially getting the opinions of Dr. Nancy, Navya. I think Navya, though, any which means I've heard about you, Navya, a lot. I think there's an echo.
Yeah.
Navya, I've heard a lot about you from these students. So finally, I got the chance to at least see you and interact with you. That way, it's really nice. And it was pleasure meeting you, Dr. Nancy. Very nice to hear your beautiful words too. So, and thank you to this entire young bunch. So, thank you.
Yeah, and I'd also like to say it was such an honor being a part of this event today, and being able to talk to people that I have talked to, and by being able to transmute ideas and convey the information. The core team, I think we can keep a separate meeting after this, and I'll give you some tips. Right? Yeah, that's it. And yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. Great. It is definitely really grateful to all of you, for the wonderful session today. It's lovely to hear Ashima ma'am and, Navya. And lovely to see that the seniors are an inspiration and, they're right there, it's because if there's someone who pat on your back and say, I am with you, I'll tell you, you are, you have someone, you don't have to waste your time in going through the same procedure that she has already gone through. So this is really nice. I miss the time when I had my seniors, I had my mentors at our age. I'm sure Ashima would agree. So that is what happened. So definitely kudos to all of you, the curiosity in you, the enthusiasm in you. Keep it going. There's no fun being just a mediocre. This is your journey, these are your crucial years, when you turn no one to someone, and then when you are, invisible to visible, because since 2 years in digital space, there's so many fishes round up there that, we don't know what is the USP. So you need to maintain your original self. So always remember, be real, be authentic. Sometimes, to be authentic, to be simple is really difficult in this complex world. So get your originality right on there. So it is lovely talking to you. We love to visit you and see all your faces sometime when the time is good. And thanks for remembering us. We're always there for you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Every pleasure having you here, and we obviously are gonna take this tip and tricks and use it in our life. It is very inspiring to hear this. I really wanted to note it down. I don't know why I didn't do it. Thank you so much. And I'll wrap up this session thanking my co-hosts. Thank you guys. And now we can, if you want, you can leave the meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining the session. You can check out our YouTube for more information and more details. And yes, we are coming also with a big surprise. And yes, follow.